One Piece has just confirmed that Luffy has 2 devil fruits.
Nani?
Yep, you heard that right. Oda, through his Road to Laugh Tale series of chapters, which have been dropping every week during this break, has just confirmed that Luffy's fruit is both a Paramecia and Mythical Zone devil fruit, just like our Balls Deep Future site predicted 3 months ago. Further fueling the theory about the 4 gods mentioned in Skypiea actually representing this special class of fruit, which the community has been referring to as the god fruits. These new chapters also revealed key information regarding how Luffy's new Gear 5 awakening actually works, but at the same time, the confirmation of Luffy actually being the modern Joyboy has started gaining doubts from the community, as according to these pages, Joyboy's identity and modern return has yet to be clarified. The Road to Laugh Tale chapters are coming straight from Oda himself to catch us up, the readers, on details we might have missed in Wano, because, you know, it's been 146 chapters and a lot of mysteries were revealed here. Some mangas only have 140 chapters, but that's crazy. But Oda has also added his scrapped ideas or extra little info hinting at major plot points of the future. For example, in the first chapter of Road to Laugh Tale, we got confirmation that the final road Poneglyph is either in Elbaf, the home of the giants, Vera, the island we learned about in the newspaper right after Alabasta, which is always warring, or with Blackbeard in Fulalade Island. In the second chapter, we get a page dedicated to explaining Shanks and Blackbeard on what they have been up to. This page is structured in a very interesting way, with Blackbeard taking up the black side of the page and Shanks the white side, with text prompting us to think about the quiet moves Shanks is making, like the meeting with the Gorosei. We also get an excerpt which says, "The scar above his left eye ties his fate to Blackbeard's." Then, on the other side of the coin, Blackbeard's excerpt talks about him leaving Fulalade Island after reading what happened at the Reverie with his eyes set on something. We know the balance of the Yonko is preserved through the idea that if one emperor fights with another emperor, then the 2 remaining could seize the opportunity on the weakened rivals and conquer them. However, with Big Mom Kaido being distracted in Wano and the Marines dealing with what happened in Marie Joie, this could be the perfect opportunity for Blackbeard to go after Shanks, to whom his fate is intertwined with. Especially with the inverted colors of the page, it could be a foreshadowing on what's to come. Next, in the third chapter, we get a bit more juicy info. Luffy's fruit is classified as the Gomu Gomu no Mi in the Paramecia section of the Devil Fruit Compendium, and as the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika on the Mythical Zone section. No other fruit has that distinction other than Luffy's. This classification is further evidence to our theory that Luffy's fruit isn't a normal devil fruit. Our theory is basically a collective understanding that devil fruits within the One Piece universe have a new classification. Not just Logia, neither Paramecia, and no, not even Zone. Rather, this category is called god fruits. The difference between these devil fruits is that they actually have mixed properties from the other categories, and their Zone counterparts, as alluded, are gods. Luffy's devil fruit is an example of this, with it being the representation of the sun god. But throughout the series, there have been many clues and foreshadowing to this concept, including the idea of there being more god fruits. The biggest take is from Skypiea, when we get to see a flashback to Nolan's time. In Shandora, the city of Gold and Jaya, the people followed a practice and had their own religion, where they called out to the god of the sun, god of the rain, god of the forest, and god of the earth. But obviously their understanding of what these gods were got warped, you know, sacrificing girls in the altar and shit. I'm sure somewhere through time there was a loss in translation, and the idea of who those figures were also got lost. But that doesn't mean they didn't exist. In Road to Laugh Tale 3, it mentions the link of Year 5 Nika to the Skypiea folk song, whose beat is the same as the sun god who harnesses the power from the rhythm. Rest of the god fruits could be possessed by dragon who ate the rain god fruit, thus he came in like a storm in Logtown. Green Bolt could have the forest fruit, as we saw in the latest chapter. My man man is creating plant life through udon, a desolate, poisoned landscape like it's nothing. And maybe Im-sama has the earth god fruit, with them being revealed around a flowery and earthy room, especially if our theory about the Adam and Eve trees linked to Im-sama holds true from last week. Then it makes perfect sense for the person with the earth god fruit to be taking care of the Eve tree. But we can go even further with this theory now with the new information. Awakened Zoan fruits simply grant the user an extreme boost in strength, speed, durability, and overall recovery. Due to their awakening, their recovery, power, and durability is insane. Now, in the case of Paramecia types, awakening is seen to allow the user to spread their power to their surroundings, matching the nature of their devil fruit power, to then be able to manipulate the transformed material as they would their own bodies. Now, we don't know much about the Logia awakening, but I'm sure it's the user's nature property taking a will of its own. This is because I believe awakening in general seems as though it enables the maximum will of the devil fruit. With Logia awakening, the nature of the elements are let free too. Hence, with Akainu and Aokiji's fight, their lava and ice were having at it even after the battle ended. With Paramecia, as it's not naturalistic or living, the only will that is expelled is the user's, hence they can share their fruit to their surroundings. With Zoan types, the awakened users are usually seen to be beast-like and very primal in nature. This is due to the will of the animal or mythical being the fruit bears is let free. Road to Laugh Tale even confirms the trait which the Gorosei spoke of about how Zoans have a will of their own, and how the Hitohitonomi Model Nika was evading them all these years is the reason why Spandam's sword could eat the elephant fruit. It's because Zoans hold the will of the entity is based on. And with Luffy awakening his fruit, he let Nika's will fully take over him, thus the reason for his uncontrollable laughter. It kind of makes sense that a comprehensive will of an animal could be turned into a Zoan fruit, as animals don't have complex wills as humans. A dog fruit user will showcase characteristics of a dog, and a leopard fruit user will be thirsty for blood and aggression. Paramecia also makes sense because a fire's will and purpose is to blaze hot through things, and ice wants to freeze everything. But Luffy's fruit is the first time we see the will of a person, a deity, the warrior of liberation, freed with an awakening. Even Zunisha recognized Gear 5 Luffy as a Joyboy. Basically, Sun God Nika is a Paramecia user and is living through the devil fruit as animals live through their respective Zoan fruits. But this would mean that all the mythical beings in their respective Zoan fruit were at one point alive.
Okay, this theory is also supported by the idea of the artificial devil fruits, all of which are Zoan types created by using SAD, a mix of lineage factors from a wide variety of animals. However, with the original Zoan devil fruit, the living being's will or haki, along with the personality and consciousness, are stored into the fruit. With Logia, its elements, and with Paramecia, its effects, materials, and non-living objects. If you had the notification bell on, then you would have already known this from our Origins and Mystery of Devil Fruits video, where we broke this concept down in even more detail. Road to Laugh Tale 3 also revealed to us that the Hitohitonomi Model Nika has not awakened since the Void Century 800 years ago. The fruit changes the holder's body into rubber, and in combat its abilities are only limited by their imagination, putting smiles on faces far and wide. This is likely a reference to the cartoon-esque changing of the surroundings when Gear 5 was active, which according to Kaido, everything looked like a picture book. Luffy's peak is literally turning imagination into reality, as rubber's flexibility can liberate anything and everything. We also learn that the heartbeat referred to as the drums of liberation have the same rhythm as a folk song in Skypiea. This song, which spreads laughter and joy at parties and liberated hearts, is the same tune as Luffy's Gear 5 heart, whose beat powers him back up, almost like an engine. Now with this, we have come to the fact that Oda illustrated that the idea of Nika's awakening doesn't necessitate it being Joyboy's return. Well, that's at least what some people in the community believe. Oda depicted Nika and Joyboy within the same page, but paralleling each other. However, unlike with Nika, Oda added an open-ended question in this Road to Laugh Tale chapter, being Nika is revealed and the mystery of Joyboy thickens, followed with who will answer the prayers of the past and be the Joyboy of the present. Now, because of this, some of you guys feel it's possible for Joyboy to be someone other than Luffy.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Otherwise, if Luffy's awakening was a confirmation to him being Joyboy, then why would Oda do this? Well, I'm here to tell you that Luffy is still Joyboy. Yes, this doesn't change anything. Just because Oda's baiting us, it doesn't change all of the foreshadowing that he planted throughout the series. Even if Nika does not correlate to Joyboy, Luffy being Joyboy is based on other factors. One primary piece of evidence being the Sea King prophecy. The birthing is at hand. Our sovereign will soon be born. And another in a distant sea. The whales are delighted in anticipation of the day the two sovereigns shall meet again. We have been waiting for so long. It is almost here and surely all will go well this time. Just 10 until birth and another 15 to grow. Luffy fulfills this when it comes to being born soon, implying that his birth had yet to happen after the prophecy was stated. This rules out multiple characters such as Momonosuke, who had already been born. We also have to consider the line, the whales are delighted in anticipation of the two sovereigns meeting. And what happened right after Luffy and Shirahoshi met? Well, the moment these Straw Hats entered the New World, they encountered a pod of whales screaming out in delight. From other instances and predictions, like Joyboy being the one to guide Poseidon, also relates back to Luffy, as he was the one to first help Shirahoshi find herself and break her chains of being a crybaby. Luffy helped push Shirahoshi to leave her room and ultimately use her abilities. Another indication is from chapter 610, with Madame Shirley's prophecy about a man with a straw hat, likely being Luffy, destroying Fishman Island. The only reason Luffy would destroy Fishman Island is to finalize the promise made by Joyboy. Once they have moved to land, Fishman Island will no longer be necessary and Fishman Island is directly under the Red Line and Marijoa. Going back to our previous video on what the One Piece is, the Red Line has to be destroyed or a hole has to be put in it to achieve all blue and a free sea. We speculate that the hole will be blown directly on the spot where Marijoa sits. This will also end up destroying Fishman Island in the process. Then we move to Kaido, who himself was waiting for Joyboy and understood the person who will hold that title will be the one who defeats him. Now Oda still has a lot to reveal before the identity of Joyboy can be confirmed, so for him it would be counterproductive to confirm Luffy as Joyboy right now. However, no matter how we look at it, Luffy is Joyboy, or else it's gotta be Kobe. Hang on a minute. You know what? I can see it now. Kobe is Joyboy.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Okay, moving on anyway. The last thing we were given in these secret pages at the Road to Laugh Tale was Yamato and her scrapped designs and ideas that Oda had. In these pages, Oda ends the gender debate over Yamato. It is written that Yamato is the one who emulates Kozuki Oden. She didn't want anyone to know that she was a girl, which tells us that she herself sees herself as a girl but doesn't want the people around her to know. It makes perfect sense that she would think this way, with Kaido calling her his son, acting like he wanted a son and not a daughter who was obsessed over Oden. Even in early concepts, Yamato was shown to be against identifying as a male. There is even a concept panel where Yamato says, "I told you to stop calling me young master. You know I can't stand it. I am a woman." Given evidence to the fact that Kaido was the one forcing everyone to call Yamato young master. Now if you guys want to know more about Yamato and her story, then check out our deep dive into her, because she is probably the second strongest Straw Hat right now. Yes, honestly. So make sure you click on the video on your screen right now.